魔法ごと閉じ込めさせてもらった。
貴様。
これで
That is it, folks. We made it to the end of my isekai life. We have lived our isekai lives through Yuji and his, I would say party members, but really his slimes and his wolf and his dryad. What an ending to the episode, or what an ending to this season. And, you know, first and foremost, the one thing that I have to do is I have to commend Studio, and I'm going to F up their name, my friend. The studio, Revelroot, Studio Revelroot, or REVO Root. We have to commend them for a good job this season. Because this episode definitely was like, and this is no hate on them, this was the most budget Sakuga and reused animations I have ever seen. But tell me why. Even as I'm watching it, I'm just like, this scene costs like $5. I was like, this scene cost this epic ending battle cost them like $5 and like a part-timer's lunch break. But regardless, I was hype nonetheless. I was still hype when Yuji finally took on when he did his divine judgment. I was like, okay, let's freaking go. I love how that divine judgment, I love how the divine judgment also popped up at just like the perfect time. Like the system, it was like, system command up top was like looking out for our boy and was like, divine judgment? And he's like, yes. And then he just kept doing it. Divine judgment, divine judgment. And this guy's just like, da. And I was like, okay, let's go. And then we have the priest who's like, oh, he had just told Yuji, like, oh, I just got another divine prophecy when the sun and the moon allied. And really, there wasn't anything prophetical about it, you know what I mean? It was really just Yuji being up in the sky and just being caught by the cast of light, by the sun and the moon kind of overpassing each other. And then even when he does do his final divine judgment with the blade, which was super duper dope. And one thing that I noticed too, again, when I say the scene costs like $5, the sage guy, they didn't have his mouth move at all. So zero lip flaps there. Just straight overdub. Zero lip flaps. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't notice that last time, but this time I was like, yo, is his mouth not moving? And he's just like, as it's like, Yuji, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And so he cast him in a huge barrier by all the slimes, and he delivers his last final judgment. And then, it's really just his barrier that he cast on himself and lighting. But the way he comes down like a messiah. And the priest is like, whoa. And I was like, oh no, Yuji, you just got caught up in a legacy, bro. You're going to be in books now. You're going to be in books and shit that's passed down in the church and in all these other, areas now. You're going to be worshipped. So much so that at the end of the episode, when he finally defeats some Bengals, he goes simply just to go turn in to the guild and stuff. They were like, you're the Yuji, the legendary dragon slayer Yuji. He's like, oh no, what do I do now? And I was like, oh, that's such a cool ending. But like overall, I think like the things that occurred this episode was really just Yuji realizing that his past self, when he was in the OG world, right? When he was in our world, well, a version of our world, being just an office worker, he was always working long nights by himself, really trying to push the envelope, really trying to, to commit to his work, but always alone, never relying on others. And the cool thing is during this battle, at this point, Yuji has he's done his travelings, and he's traveled across so many different areas, guilds, and he's done something significant in all of them, saving from dragons, saving from beast, saving from the winner, saving from this, saving from that. And he's touched so many different people at this point that they're all motivated by, somebody who is the most powerful that they've encountered so far. And they use that as not a crutch, but they use that as a motivation to go out, and when beasts are threatening their villages, their towns, they use that as motivation. And when Yuji was able to kind of see that, that's what motivated him, when he was able to see all these different people kind of enact this strength that has been essentially gifted by him. He's able to see, like, oh, I'm no longer alone. I've touched all these people now. He basically has comrades kind of throughout this countryside so far. He has a bunch of different comrades throughout the country, and what he did was really smart. Is he put slimes on all of the, he put slimes, he left behind slimes on all of them to be able to kind of keep a watch of the people he's interacted with that he kind of cares about so far. And when he sees that, he gets hyped up. You know what I mean? He takes his MP restorative that the Dryad brewed for him. He launches a attack and defense buff on everybody, so they're able to go and protect their villages, and I thought that was a really cool scene. Just the I'm no longer alone narrative I thought was really, really cool. Then, obviously the last thing I'll touch on, for the season is they also did a pretty good job of, hopefully, they get some kind of budget, maybe they'll get $10, and they'll be able to create us a season 2. But if they do, he left slimes with the bad people too, and they talked about a black dragon and a cleansing or a purification of the continent. I don't know what this group's, not annoyance, but I don't know what their deal is with having to cleanse the continent. Like, why is the world so dirty or unpure? But essentially, they set up another narrative that if they do want to continue the story, now it would be Yuji taking on this other group, right? Or a branch or a cutoff of the Blue Man group, the Blue Moon group. And, there we have this black dragon, this other thing that they're going to try and summon. And then you have this cleansing purification machine that they have. So we do have one more bad guy or one more huge threatening narrative that they could tell us a story about if they decide or get the budget or get approval for season 2. Just depending on how this anime ended up doing. And for this one specifically, I've heard 0 people talk about it in our side of the world, outside of like a couple of YouTubers who are like, oh, let me tell you about the trash at the season, blah, blah, blah. When the anime is actually pretty good. I hate when people do that to good anime, because then it makes people not want to watch it. But hopefully, on Bibli in Asia or in Japan, on the TV casting, hopefully it's done well enough, because I would love for them to get another $10 or $15 to do a season 2. But that's all I have for you guys. It's been an awesome ride. It's been an awesome ride with Yuji and his slimes. A great ending to the episode. I had good laughs. I had a good hype moments this episode, and I hope you did too. So I'll see you guys in the summer. I'll see you guys in the fall for fall anime. Make sure you guys check out the video that will be coming late September for the anime we'll be watching, like Bleach, in fall. So hope to see you guys there. And, of course, see you in the next one.